Hey guys, so recently I did a video where I showed you guys my old sketchbook, and compared to a lot of my other videos on my channel, that one was pretty popular, so I'd like to say thank you so much for the support. I mentioned in that video that I was planning on doing a sketchbook tour of a more current sketchbook, and that video is here today. So today I'm going to be showing you guys my most recent completed sketchbook. I have a new sketchbook that I'm working in right now, but I finished this one recently, so this is gonna have a lot more of my recent art, I guess you can say. The sketchbook took me about 4 months to complete, and I feel like that's around the average time for me to complete a sketchbook, but I don't know, this one felt like a lot longer for some reason. I think it's because I took a lot more breaks with drawing in this one, and there were a lot of times where it just felt like very unmotivated, so I feel like that probably played a part. As for the sketchbook though, it is a Crescent Render Pro sketchbook. I showed you guys that sketchbook in my last sketchbook tour, but obviously this is like a different size and stuff like that, and this is the size I currently use now, and I really like it. If you do a lot of marker art, I definitely recommend these sketchbooks because you can draw on both sides of the paper and use alcohol-based markers and stuff like Copics, and it will not bleed through. So I like to draw with markers a lot, so they are great for me. I also really like this size better than the other one I showed in my old sketchbook tour video because it's not too big where I can't like carry it around with me, but at the same time it's like also not too tiny where I have like trouble drawing in it. But anyway, let's get on to the actual sketchbook. But first, as you can see, I have some stickers on the cover. All of these are from Redbubble. Here is the inside of the sketchbook. The sketchbook's kind of taken a beating, so as you can see the top is like a little messed up, but as you can see I have my introduction page here, and I started this sketchbook on April 16th, 2018, and I ended it on July 26th, 2018. I also want to mention that a lot of the art you're gonna see in this sketchbook, pretty much everything's on my Instagram account, so if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen all this already, but you know what, I still want to do a sketchbook tour of it. Here's a drawing I did of Seth Rollins. I did this, I believe, around after WrestleMania, and all of, the wrestlers had like the new gear and stuff, and I really liked Seth's. It looked really cool, and he's like my favorite wrestler. Here is a drawing I did of Gaguri from the Shanghai Dragons. I love her. She's one of my favorite Overwatch League players, so I wanted to do a drawing of her. So when I was looking for reference pictures, I found like this really like cute picture of her holding like a little diva gun, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna draw her like that. So I did it, but like I added the Shanghai Dragons like jersey and stuff, and I also added a little Pachimari and a little frog because that's kind of like her thing. Another thing you'll notice in my sketchbooks is that I like to add washi tape on the sides because sometimes I have like a lot of blank space, and I just feel like adding the washi tape kind of makes it like less boring to look at. I did it a lot more at the start of my sketchbook, and as the sketchbook kind of went on to the end, I kind of got a little lazy with doing it, so you're not gonna see it as much later, but it's very prominent in like the beginning of my sketchbook. This was my attempt at trying to draw Captain America in his kind of like Infinity War outfit. This was before the movie had come out, so I was getting pretty hyped up for Infinity War, and I was doing like a bunch of Marvel fan art, so I really wanted to draw Captain America because who doesn't love him? And I don't know, like I feel parts of it are okay, but I feel like the face is a little weird, and that's definitely been something I've been working on a lot. I wanted to do some more Overwatch League fan art because I watch way too much Overwatch League. So here is a drawing I did of Ruckus from the Houston Outlaws. Here is another Marvel drawing I did. You'll see a lot of Marvel art in this sketchbook, but I tried to draw Scarlet Witch, and I drew her in her Age of Ultron outfit because I think that's like my favorite outfit of hers. It's just like so pretty. I don't know, but I wanted to try and draw her, and I mean, like, I feel like it's okay. I feel like when I show my friends this sketchbook, a lot of them really like this drawing, but I don't like it that much. I feel like the hands are kind of weird, and I feel like it just doesn't really look like Elizabeth Olsen. Here is when Mermaid was starting, and I remember being really excited for Mermaid and being like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna draw so many mermaids this month, and I only ended up drawing I think like 2, so this was the first one of that. I kind of went for this like green and pink effect, which I actually really like, and I don't know, I guess I was trying to be like a little more creative, I guess. So I did that, and then as you can see, the background is like kind of metallic-y, but I feel like it's not really picking up that well on camera. This is a drawing I did for May the 4th. I actually drew this on May 2nd, but like I posted it on May the 4th, and I decided to draw Princess Leia in her Hoth outfit, and I actually really like how this drawing turned out. I did screw up on the hand a little. Hands are kind of a problem, and I forgot to color part of the weapon, but other than that, like, I'm pretty proud. Like, I like how the face turned out and stuff. And again, Infinity War was coming out, so I needed to do some hype art. I drew Bucky in his Winter Soldier outfit. Here was my second and I believe last attempt at drawing a mermaid. I do really like how I colored this because I remember I used the kind of green cyan color, I think that's what it's called, as like the base, and then I shaded it with like a lot of gray markers, and I think it turned out really cool, but I feel like the pose is like a little weird, so I kind of don't like that about this drawing. And then here is a drawing I did after Infinity War, and I really wanted to draw Mantis because I feel like she's such like an underrated character, so I had to give her some love. Here is a little drawing I did of Marty Skrull in like his gold attire. Here is some comic book Wanda Maximoff Scarlet Witch, and I remember I was reading the comics at the library at my school, and it kind of just inspired me to do some kind of comic inspired art, so I did that. And I also practiced using watercolors with this drawing. I did color the skin with markers, but pretty much everything else, oh, and I also did the part of the eyes with marker as well, but the rest of the drawing was done in watercolor, and I really liked the effect that it gave. Here I had some Kylo Ren because I just felt like drawing Kylo Ren. Here's a drawing of Mercy from Overwatch. This is when Blizzard was doing the breast cancer charity thing, and that really meant a lot to me. I was really happy that they did that because the money was going to a good charity. And also the fact that it was kind of like a personal subject for me, but like I'm not really gonna get into that now. So I really wanted to do something dedicated, and for those of you who don't know, they released like this really pretty like pink Mercy skin, and all of the donations went directly to the charity. So I drew the skin, and it's really beautiful. I like how the drawing turned out for the most part. The only thing I don't like is the face. Again, I feel like it doesn't really look like the face of the like the skin like of her, so that's the only thing I really don't like. But other than that, like I'd say I'm pretty proud of this for the most part. I feel like, again, it's one of those drawings like I mentioned in my last sketchbook tour that I feel like it just has like a lot of meaning to it, so even if it's not necessarily the best drawing when like I look back on it in the future, it's gonna have like meaning to me. I hope that makes sense. This drawing was inspired by this girl I saw on Pinterest, but the original picture was like a lot different. She had kind of like leaves around her and stuff, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna like spice it up, and I was really liking how the sketch was going and how the inking, but then I feel like when I colored it, I kind of just ruined it. Here was some Deadpool art I did because I was really excited to go see Deadpool 2. Here's a drawing I did of Surefour from the LA Gladiator, and then here's a drawing I did of Strike Commander Morrison because I really like that skin, and I don't know, like I did a drawing of this skin a while ago, and I really liked how that drawing turned out, but like at the time at least. But I don't know, like this one, I feel like it's just kind of like it's not like terrible, but I feel like it's not like the best either, if you know what I mean. Here is a drawing I did of Charlotte. Again, I really wanted to draw like her gold WrestleMania gear because I just thought it was so beautiful, and I hadn't drawn Charlotte in a while. And I had a lot of fun drawing this. I'm actually really proud of how this came out. I used like a lot of glitter and kind of metallic pens, which I used to do a lot more in my art, and I don't really do as much anymore, so it was really fun to kind of, I guess, like go back to my roots and do that. And so yeah, she also saw this drawing too, which made me really happy as well. Here was when I went through my phase for a little while where I really started wanting to learn how to draw animals more, so I drew this little wolf, and I wanted to make it look kind of nice instead of just like having a wolf with like no background, so I drew like some tried I tried to draw some roses around it, and like I watercolored the background blue, and I don't really know what to think of it. Here's when I tried to draw a ram. I saw this picture of this ram on Pinterest, and it just looked really beautiful, and I wanted to draw it. And at first I was gonna do this kind of like a pastel colored ram, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of color it like its natural colors, and then I'll do like kind of a pastel-y type background, although I don't really think the background's super pastel because the pink's kind of like a little bright. But I did kind of like a pink background, and I added some hearts, and my friends and I named him Rammy, so that's gonna be his name. Here is a drawing I did of Roman Reigns, and I feel like this is one of those drawings that like it just looks kind of better like in person than on camera. Like, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the best drawing, but like I feel like when I look at it in person, it just looks a lot better than the photo I took of it. Here is a drawing I did of Toothless. This is when the trailer for How to Train Your Dragon 3 came out, and I'm so excited for that movie because I really love the first two How to Train Your Dragon movies, and I really just wanted to do a little Toothless drawing, and I think he turned out cute. I tried to do watercolor for the, I did actually watercolor for most of this, although I did like use marker for some parts, and I do really like how it turned out. I think it turned out okay. Here is a drawing I did of Ark from New York Excelsior. He's one of my favorite support players, so I really wanted to do a drawing of him, so I kind of did this like Mercy inspired one because he plays Mercy a lot, and I really like it. I put a lot of detail into this, and I was really proud of how this came out, although the drawing did end up getting a little ruined by the gel pen, which happens a lot to this drawing. Just a warning, if you use the Signo Uniball Signo white gel pen, I've had this happen to a lot of drawings where it like rubs off onto the other ones, so just be careful if you have used that gel pen. Here's a drawing I did of Lotor, and this was before I believe season 6 had come out, so this is when we were on the We All Love Lotor train, and then season 6 happened, so now we don't like him, but I wanted to draw him before the season happened, and I mean, I feel like the drawing itself is okay, but Lotor, why you had to do that? And this was a drawing after season 6 had happened, and I was just reminded of how much I love Allura, so I really wanted to do a drawing of her, and I feel like it looks okay. I did the pose kind of inspired by like a Disney princess pose, and I don't know, I like it. I think it turned out okay. I feel like some of the coloring like of the dress is a little because I was running really low on blue ink for my markers at the time, so I feel like some of the drawing like the coloring necessarily isn't the best, at least for like the dress and stuff, but I feel like overall it's like a pretty cute drawing. This is when I decided that I wanted to try doing a warm-up sketch for my drawings, so I decided to try and do like some kind of jester poses, and I don't know, I ended up not drawing anything else that day, so I think that exercise was kind of a flop in that aspect, but I do actually do jester drawings. I just don't normally kind of do them in this sketchbook. I have like a separate one I do them in. Here's a drawing I did of Elastigirl, and I drew this after I went to go watch Incredibles 2, and that's a really good movie. I was really excited for that movie because I loved the first Incredibles movie, so that's like my favorite Pixar movie. So I was really excited for the second one, and the second one was really good, so happy it lived up to my expectations. I also wanted to try doing kind of like a more full body action pose-ish, which is something I feel like I really need to work on, so I got to practice that as well. Here's a drawing I did of Reaper, and I don't know, I feel like this drawing's like kind of I reference like the pose and stuff from the statue and things, and I don't know, like I wanted the background to kind of be like pitch blackish, so he kind of like, I guess, faded into the shadows or whatever, but I ended up doing like black watercolor with like some red added to it, so I feel like if I ever redid this, I might just do the drawing like the background straight up pitch black, kind of like what I did for the Kylo Ren drawing that you saw. So yeah, also I feel like the arms look a little weird, so I don't think this is necessarily my best work. Here's a drawing I did while on vacation. I did this in my hotel room because the hotel I was in had like a really big desk, and I was like, ooh, like this is such a nice desk, I want to like draw something. So I ended up doing this little sketch of this like girl, and when I went home, I kind of just wanted to do like a warm gray kind of color palette with like a blue background. Not blue, oh my god, I can't talk. Purple. So this is when we get into my draw this in your style phase. I really liked doing these challenges for a while. I think they were really fun. So this was one done by Laura Pickle, and she drew this really cute like mermaid girl, and so I tried to draw her. The only thing was some of my markers were like really low, like my pink marker was so low, so I kind of tried to add like some gray in it, and I don't know. I don't think it looks as good as the original. Here's another draw this in your style challenge, and this, the original artist who did the original drawing, that's a lot of originals, but the artist for that was Kai Eriks, and they drew this kind of really cool like demon kind of girl, and I really wanted to draw this, so I did my own version of it, and I feel like the drawing itself is good. Like, I'm actually kind of proud of this. The only thing that I feel with this drawing is that when I feel like by itself it's okay, but then when you compare it to the original, I just realize how bad it looks, and I'm like, why can't I be a talented artist too? I feel like a lot of people struggle with that though, so I don't think I'm super alone on that one. Here was another draw this in your style challenge I did, and this one was by Tasia MS. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I'm really sorry. Drew like this kind of really cute like warrior girl, and I really wanted to draw it, and I feel like up to like this part I feel like the drawing looks pretty okay, but like I said, I'm really bad at like anatomy and kind of like full body poses, so I feel like once you kind of got down to like the legs part, I feel like it looked really weird, and like you can tell I was struggling a lot, so that's definitely something I feel like I really need to work on, but I still had a lot of fun getting to draw this. Here's a drawing I did of Tyler Joseph inspired by the Jumpsuit music video. This is when the music video for that had just come out, and also the Nico and the Niners song as well had come out, and everybody was so excited because 21 Pilots are finally out of hiatus, so I had to do some art for that, and I wanted to do something with like the kind of flower petals, so I did that. Here was a little doodle I had done when I was watching a live stream on Twitch, and I really liked it. I don't know, like it kind of just reminded me of a lot of like the doodles I used to do back in like school, where I would just kind of like always doodle in my notes. It like reminded me a lot of that, so I decided to kind of just paste it in here. Here was when I realized that I hadn't been doing as much like wrestling art as I used to, and I really wanted to draw something wrestling related, so I drew Shinsuke Nakamura, and this was my first time ever drawing him, and I was really happy I like finally got to draw him because he had been on my to-draw list for a while, so I finally got around to it. Also, this was, I believe, the night he won the US title too, so that was pretty cool as well. Here's a drawing I did of Sombra, and this is a speed drawing on my YouTube channel, so I'll put the link to that video down below as well. This was my first speed drawing I had done on my newly updated channel, so yeah. As for the drawing though, looking back on it, I feel like I don't like it as much as I used to. Like, I just feel like some elements of it look kind of weird, and I really hate that hand. Like, I can't draw hands, why? Here was a drawing I did of Tasumi, and this is when the goth girl Tasumi was going around Twitter and stuff, and I really wanted to draw something inspired by that, so I don't think the outfit isn't really goth, to be honest, but I still had fun drawing this. I also practicing those full body poses, guys, and another thing, I wanted to do this full body, but I didn't proportion it correctly, so I couldn't fit the leg. Here's a watercolor drawing I did an Aquaman. I really want to practice my watercolor more, so that's why I decided to do this in full watercolor. I feel like obviously it's not like the best, but again, I think it's just gonna take some more practice to be as good as the other watercolor artists on Instagram and YouTube. You gotta keep practicing, guys. Here's a drawing I did of White Diamond after I had finished watching Steven Universe, and I needed to do some White Diamond art, and I have a speed drawing for this on my channel, so if you would like to go check that out, I will put the link below. Again, all the links to all the videos I mentioned are gonna be in the description. And finally, here's the last drawing in this sketchbook. It is a drawing of a New York Excelsior inspired Zenyatta, because I use the skin in game all the time because New York's my favorite team, so I have to root for them. And I just wanted to do something kind of for the end of the season. The grand finals were coming up, so I drew the Zenyatta. And that is it for the sketchbook tour. Thank you so much for watching. I'm having really fun with this channel, and if you'd like to see more sketchbook tours, obviously I'm working on my current one right now, so you probably won't see a tour of that one for a while, but I have a lot of older sketchbooks too that like I really would like to show, so if you guys enjoy these videos, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want, and maybe leave a comment. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!